Hello again, and today we've got lots to talk about, lots of fights to talk about today. Three big fights, including Viloria, Froch, and Brona, all on one night. Thankfully for you, I've cut them into 3 videos, so you don't have to sit through me for about half an hour. I will cut it up for you. So first of all, I'm going to talk about Brian Viloria versus Hernan Marquez. Probably the least known of the 3 fights. Probably going to be one none of us are going to watch live, being at the same time. It's in California tonight. Um, Two flyweights, two probably the best flyweights, best little men in the world. Brian Viloria 5'4", Hernan Marquez just 5'2". It's going to be a great fight. It's one that's been anticipated for a while now. As I say, two best boxers down there, probably the only other fight you'd say. Around those weight divisions you're missing out is Roman Gonzalez, another top fighter, but he's a bit lower down. But surely that fight could be made in the future. We'll have to say better. But tonight, as I say, Brian Viloria, Hernan Marquez at the Sports Center, Los Angeles, for the WBA Super Flyweight title is held by Marquez, and WBO Flyweight title held by Viloria. It's an interesting fight. It's one that, as I say, has been brewing for a while. Viloria on a five-fight winning streak. He's seemed to have come into some form that he's lacked throughout his career. He's been a man who's come out of form, gone into fights when you're thinking he's got a chance here for superstardom and missed out. Most notably, back a few years ago, 2006, he finally won the world title against Eric Ortiz with a first round knockout. Suddenly he's the new big thing. He could be the new little guy from Hawaii. People are comparing him to Pacquiao, so on. And then next fight wins unanimous decision, looks quite comfortable. And then goes in with Omar Nino Romero, who becomes a familiar foe for him. He had 3 battles. That one he lost convincingly, almost every round, losing his title. It was an immediate rematch. Romero, this time it was a draw. One judge gave it to Romero, but was later called a no contest after Romero failed a drug test. So then he got a shot at the vacant WBC title. Another great chance against a good champion, Edgar Sosa. In that fight, though, lost majority decision. Once again, never really living up to that potential he has. Something that he's done throughout his career, not living up to that top potential. Come back now with some mediocre wins against a mediocre opposition. Some knockout wins, mostly unanimous decisions, before getting a shot at the IBF flyweight title. Ulysses Solis, who won. Solis was deducted a point in the 3rd and 5th rounds for low blows, and was down in the 11th round, which he knocked him out in. He was ahead on the scorecards as well, Viloria. And again, living up to that potential, Solis was 28-1-2 going into that fight. Still, some people says slightly coming out of his prime of his career, but was still a tough challenge for him at light flyweight. Won 9 in the 11th round, and once again, the hype's on. Is he going to now fulfill that potential? But again, 2 fights later in 2010, Carlos Tamara, who was 20-4 going in, knocks him out in the 12th round, when Viloria is not comfortably ahead. He's ahead on one card by 3 points, ahead on the other by a point. And Tamara was ahead on the other card, but lost in that last round. Another disappointment. Probably a career, I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but he's never lived up to the potential, the hype he's had around him. Come back again with some wins. Liam Petch saw Verapol, now a top contender, beat him in 7 rounds, put him down twice in that fight. Very convincing win to get himself a shot at the WBO flyweight title, moving up in weight. Beating Julio Cesar Miranda, quite comfortable on some cards, close on others. Knocked Miranda down in the 1st round, which may have been the key for him winning the fight, winning on unanimous decision. Another top card fight, another convincing win. And then come the real big fight again, much like the Solis victory. Giovanni Segura coming off 2 amazing wins over the legendary Puerto Rican fighter Ivan Calderon. And Segura was looking in the prime of his career. everybody was hyping him up. It just looked like a fight that Segura was going to win. Yeah, in a tough fought battle, early battle in the early rounds, Viloria took everything Segura had, come through it, 8th round knockout in the end, just landing at will on Segura before the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. So again, another top victory. Then he goes in there with Omar Nino Romero for a third fight, and this time he wins, 9th round knockout, and he was ahead plenty on the scorecards, pretty much won every round, and we were knocking him out in the 9th. In what has been his most convincing run so far, 3 top victories in a row, and suddenly he's looking like the kind of fighter we've never seen him be before. But again, he's stepping up again, much like he did in recent times, been on good runs before stepping up again to another opposition and losing. Hernan Marquez, he's probably a top fighter in the division with his run of form. All started really in 2011 with Luis Concepcion. Concepcion, top fighter from Panama, his hometown, knocked Marquez down in the first round. Marquez comes straight back, knocking him down, and then knocking him down in the 3rd and 10th rounds before stopping him in the 11th in one absolute war. If anybody's watched that, you'll know what I'm on about. It was an absolute war. If you haven't watched it, just type it into YouTube. It's in foreign, but turn the volume off, whatever. It's a great fight. You'll really enjoy it. The second fight, then he fought Adrian Dapidong. Don't want to miss anybody out. Knocked him out in the 3rd round. Another convincing, dominant performance. Luis Concepcion, then the rematch. So much hype about this time in Mexico. Concepcion knocked down again 3 times, but this time all in 1 round. 1 round and it was over. Concepcion knocked out. It was really his stamp on his division. Then Richie Metronome, a rematch of an earlier defeat in his career, one of his only 2 defeats. Lost on a unanimous decision, convincingly beaten. Come back here, dominant throughout, scoring 2 knockdowns and winning that final unanimous 10-round decision before beating another mediocre opposition in a 10-rounder, this time by majority decision. So he's a WBO. He's been upgraded to WBO Super World Flyweight Champion. His only other defeat was early in his career, 2010, to Nito Donaire, now obviously known as one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Lost that in 8 rounds. He was down twice, 5th round and 8th round. Again, you got to excuse him for that kind of defeat, because Donaire is just, well, you all know who Donaire is. You all know how good Donaire is, and that's not a defeat he can be upset about. So yeah, he's flyweight champion. He's definitely the best fighter at flyweight at the moment. He's on a huge run of form since that Concepcion win, where he was an absolute brawl of a fight. And then look at strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. Viloria, orthodox, Marquez, southpaw, always makes for an awkward kind of fight, but sometimes it can just gel together, sometimes it just works out that way, and this one is going to be one. You see the 2 fighters, Marquez cracking. Watching the fight, the first fight against Concepcion, it was all left hand, everything was from the left hand. I was thinking, has this guy got a right hand? He's got an amazing left, straight left every time on the button of Concepcion. But Luis Concepcion, not a great defense. He's a bit sloppy, a bit ragged, and got caught plenty of times. Viloria won't be that open. But Marquez, then in the rematch, everything come off the right hand. That right hook was immense in that fight. Kept landing it over and over again. Knocked him down, and he just showed he has variety of punches he can throw. That straight left hand, he's got dynamite in it, and so is that short right. Then you look at Viloria's strengths, and if you watch the Segura fight, Segura's head there swollen like a balloon up the side there, and that's from just constant left hooks from Viloria. He's got super power in that left hook. Most of his opponents have gone down from that. It's just a super punch for him. And against the southpaw, the perfect punch to have, that short left hook. He's going to be landing there a lot. Marquez has got that short right hook, that straight left-hander. He's going to be key. That's key for a southpaw, that straight left. It's always a nuisance for orthodox fighters. They're both really quick. They both love to brawl. I guess Viloria won't like to brawl so much in this fight, but Marquez is going to try as much as he can to make him. One thing I noticed about Viloria in the Segura fight, he fought it out with him early, tested his power, took it well, and just in the later rounds, in probably about 5 rounds onwards, he just took over. Doubt that I won't do that. Actually, we won't do that against Marquez, because Marquez has a superb chin. Though he's been down, he's got a solid chin, and he's got solid punches of his own. Conception 40 had him. Conception 40 could knock him in the first round in the first fight, and Marquez ended up knocking him down in that first round. Pretty much changed the fight from then, as Marquez went on to score another, obviously 2 knockdowns before the knockout in the 11th round. So it's going to be a tactical fight, I think, from Viloria's standpoint. Marquez is just going to not bomb in, but he's going to try and work himself in, land them right hooks. Viloria knows if he wants to land that left hook, he may be very vulnerable to the right counter punch, and then the left hand straight down the middle. I see it 2 kinds away. If Viloria is on his game, like he has been in recent fights, if he puts up that same performance he did against Segura and Miranda and Romero in his last 3 fights, then I see him winning this by a late stoppage. I think the referee might stop it late on. Left hooks will get to him a lot. I think he can wear Marquez down if he's at his best. If we see another Viloria slack performance like we've seen in the past against what was it, Tamara and Solis, sorry, not Solis, why did I say Solis? Sosa. These simple names you get mixed up all the time. If he performs like he did against them too, though I'm not taking it any away from Tamara and Solis, 2 great Sosa, not Solis, I'm not taking anything away from them. They're great fighters, but if he puts in a performance that's not up to scratch that he has put in the past, then Marquez will take over and put in a knockout victory. There's going to be knockdowns, it's going to be fun. So if you don't watch it live, you know, try and find it on YouTube. If you can buy the DVD off people, do so, because it's going to be a great fight, an enjoyable fight. And as I say, it could go either way, but I think there'll be knockdowns. Both fights I think will touch the canvas, but I'm going to say if both fighters are on the game, I'm going to say Viloria will win by late stoppage. That's my prediction. So thank you for listening, and tune in a bit for my previews of Froch versus Mac and Broner versus DeMarco. Thank you.